Okay, welcome back. So we're getting ready to go on a road trip here. I'm going to Chicago. It's going to be about 420 miles to Chicago. Unfortunately, I'm not starting with 100% like I normally would recommend. I'm only starting at 84%. That's due to the fact that yesterday I did a 300-mile trip, round trip, and about 6 hours, and I did not get it to a full charge when I got back. When I got back, I wanted to have the most charging done at home that I could to get the best rate, and I did not quite get there. So we're gonna go ahead and start off a little low on 85%. It might mean it adds a stop. One of the things I need to plan for on this trip is that when I get to my destination, I was planning on parking at a nearby slow charger or level 2 charger, I should say, and letting it charge for all day or overnight. However, I was nominated to go pick up some people at the airport, so I'm going to need to show up with a decent charge, about 30% charge when I get there to where my destination is, so that the next day I can go pick up some folks early in the morning. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at my trip. So as we start off today, as I said, I'm at 84%. And as you can see from here, my trip from yesterday was not very good miles per kilowatt, only 1.4. It was about 35 mile an hour winds and 45 mile an hour gusts. I started bucking right into the wind, and then the wind switched to a crosswind, so it got very bad. I'm gonna go ahead and reset my trips to start with. Let's go ahead and reset both of these, so I can kind of keep track of what's going on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and plug in my destination. I'm going to go to Noble House in Glen Allen, Illinois. So let's go ahead and watch this pull up. It says 6 hours and 19 minutes is the normal travel. It's estimating 7 hours and 42 minutes, arriving at 5:25. It estimates 2 charging stops. I can get that in focus there. You can see one of them is, if I go ahead and select that, it's going to tell me that I should stop in Toma, and then a Tesla supercharger in South Beloit. One of the things about going to Chicago is once I get on the toll roads, I do not want to pull over. So South Beloit is about the last one. We'll see. You can see here that it says a 32-minute charge in Toma and then a 38-minute charge in South Beloit, 2 stops. I'm going to actually try and see if I can get past Toma a little bit farther. I'd rather stop at 1 stop, and maybe if I have to do a Tesla charger for that 1 stop, which would be slower. The Electrify America, I do believe, is a 350 kilowatt. Again, I can pull that up here just by clicking that and see that it is very fast. And I can click on the amenities near me. So it's a nice feature about this is it tells me if I want to go to a Starbucks, McDonald's. They're kind of within walking distance. And the same thing with down here. I can also change, if you're not familiar, right? If I go back up here, I can change what percentage I want to have when I arrive. So you can set that. As you see, as this goes below the minimum, if I set 10%, that's your final arrival. You cannot put your arrival at each station. And you can see it doesn't really change my stops a lot. So it still wants me to do that. I can go ahead and remove the charging. And it'll tell me I'll be at negative 58%. So I kind of know where it wants me to go. I'm going to go ahead and hit start. I'm going to look at my route. I've been there multiple times, but that's what I'm going to do. 6 hours and 19 minutes tells me I'm going to be negative 58%. Toma is what it's suggesting, but I'm going to see how I'm doing on my kilowatts per mile, or miles per kilowatt, I should say. You know, if I'm getting good mileage, then maybe I can go a little further and get that onto 1 stop. If not, then I'll stop in Toma and see what I do. Just to give you an idea that we do still have some winds today. This is showing about a 19 mile per hour wind, but it should be pushing me most of the way. So I'm going to keep updating every 50 or so miles my miles per kilowatt. So I've been doing 65 miles an hour, and this was in an area that is more city, and I've got a crosswind pretty good. So 1.5 miles per kilowatt. I'm now getting on the interstate, so the rest of the way from here will be 70 miles an hour, I believe. And I'll see if I'll modify around a little bit, whether I'm doing 70, 75, 80, and see what I get. Okay, we've done another 50 plus miles, just under 100 total. That last 50 was a speedometer at 75, 1.5 miles per hour, or 1.5 miles per kilowatt. I'm currently at 55% with 219 miles to go, or 219 miles available. And I am still dealing with a bunch of wind here, so I'm assuming that's knocking me down a little bit. I'm in Super Cruise right now, and it can't really handle this wind. I'm all over the place. So I'm gonna speed up to 78 miles an hour. I should be actually starting to get a tailwind, and we'll see what my miles are for another 50 miles after that. Okay, another 50 miles, roughly 45 miles. This time I was doing 80 miles an hour on average, 1.4 miles per kilowatt. I'm gonna back it down to 71 for the final 50 miles here. I am gonna take the Toma charger, not because, well, because I guess it is a super fast charger, I should get good charge, but also this is probably the farthest I've made it in the over 24 trips I've made to Chicago without having to stop for a bathroom break. Some of it might be due to myself or what I drank this morning, or I did lose a dog here recently who normally would have to do a little more bathroom breaks. So we're gonna go on to Toma, hit that supercharger, but for now I'm gonna drop it down to 71 and see if I get anything different for mileage. Okay, we made it 189.8 miles, averaging 1.5 kilowatt hours, miles per kilowatt, excuse me. The last 49 miles, driving 71 miles an hour, I actually got 1.7 miles per kilowatt. And here's the thing, is that the wind is actually increasing the farther east I go. So I'm wondering if, even though it's a little bit behind me, if that's why semis drive slower. I mean, I'm not a wind expert here, but I'm going to do some more and testing to see. But even with the wind behind me, this big vehicle I don't think likes cutting through the wind. At the faster speeds, I do notice a lot more noise, wind noise, so even though it's pushing me, it doesn't seem to be really helping. I did pull over at a fast charger. Unfortunately, there is a dumbass next to me, pulled into the 350 kilowatt charger, blocking it, and he's in a vehicle that cannot take that amount of kilowatts. So I am sitting at a Electrify America 150. I'm currently getting 180 kilowatts per hour. I'm up to 60% just about. So I'm charging fairly decent here, but it certainly would have been nice to try and have a near a 350 kilowatt charge to get in and out of here, but I guess some people are just stupid. Hopefully that's not me. So note to everybody out there, if your vehicle can't take 350 kilowatts, maybe you shouldn't park in front of it and block it from other people. Okay, so on the road here again, I show 217 miles to my destination. I did a charge here. I charged up to just over 80%. Shows me at 354, and my current trip is 1.9. I'm driving 74 miles an hour, doing a little test here again with that. This did want me to stop to charge. Now it says I'm gonna have 5% charge when I get there. 216 miles. See what it does. I have 353 miles according to my full tank, and 216 miles to go. So this is where the system wants you to stop. Wants you to stop and charge one more time. I might just go till I get there. We'll see. The one thing about Chicago again is I don't want to get into the toll area and then have to exit. then come back on and off and stuff. So we'll see. Hey there, just wanted to update the trip odometer. We did 60 miles at about 75 miles an hour at 1.7. We can see it actually upped our overall trip to 1.6. And if you recall, I think it was about 8% I was going to be arriving with. We've actually gained some percent there. So it seems to me that you know, the speed down a little bit is helping the mileage here in the wind. Anyway, we'll keep tracking. Okay, so got an hour and 48 left, 111 miles. As you can see, I've jumped up to 17% left. I am now at 50 miles getting 2 miles per kilowatt, and I'm doing 72 miles an hour. So some of that probably has to do with little flatter land that I've gotten on. Potentially Wisconsin does have some up and downs, so but 72, this is one of those cases where I think slower is faster. I'm not going to stop now. I was going to stop to try and get a little more in there, but I can make it, I believe, without any issues. We'll see. I'm not going to reset the trip. I'm going to see how much more I get on this. So just very quickly here, ended 421 miles, 1.7. That just ticked up right at the very end. The last 162 miles, as you can see, I did get 1.9 miles per kilowatt, so that's pretty good. So we'll be in Chicago for a few days, and then I'll head back. To wrap up the first leg of the trip, I did 575 miles, got 1.7. If you recall, I was about 1.6 or 1.5 for the first half of the trip until I slowed down. And then 1.8 for 316 of the last miles there. I had some in-town driving here in Chicago, so I think I was about 1.9 when I actually arrived, and then dropped over the last couple days. So I'm charging up right now, gonna get her up to 100% before I head out for the last leg home, and we'll go from there.